Marvel said this was the start of a bold new era. But behind the scenes, the cast of Fantastic Four and the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy was already done, with the studio, with the script, and with the CEO himself.
Because he's not present, he's not being the leader that he should be.
Pedro Pascal walked off set. Joseph Quinn said he didn't recognize his own character. And Disney? They responded with silence, censorship, and AI. This isn't a reboot, it's a funeral. It all started with a photo. Just one carefully polished image released by Marvel in December 2024. 4 big names, one headline, the future of the MCU. Pedro Pascal, fresh off The Last of Us. Vanessa Kirby, hot from Oscar buzz. Joseph Quinn, Netflix's Gen Z magnet. And Eben Moss-Bachrach, the critical darling from The Bear. It was supposed to be a dream team, a new family, Marvel's redemption arc after the chaotic Kang controversy. But within weeks, the dream was cracking. Insiders say production was fractured from day one. Pascal's tight schedule meant major group scenes were filmed out of sync, stitched together later with doubles and CGI. That famous Marvel ensemble energy? Gone. And it gets worse. Sources close to the production revealed that Kirby's role was restructured twice. Storm went from the emotional core to a secondary arc. One VFX artist said, "She's barely in the second half, they just cut her entire rescue subplot." And just when you think it can't get messier, it does. Joseph Quinn, who was promised breakout star status as Johnny Storm, suddenly had his character rewritten. Early drafts had him reckless and fiery, but later versions made him reactive, muted. Quinn reportedly said on set, "I don't even know who I'm playing anymore." Meanwhile, Pedro Pascal, the face of the reboot, quietly pulled away. No Comic-Con, no interviews, no social media posts. That's not coincidence. That's a warning. Normally, when a film's in trouble, the damage control doesn't start until after the press tour. But with Fantastic Four, the retreat began long before the first trailer even dropped. By March 2025, just weeks after principal photography wrapped, agents close to the cast were already warning studio insiders. This would be a one-and-done situation. The shift wasn't subtle. According to leaked internal memos reviewed by industry reporters, Marvel's own marketing team flagged the cast as resistant to standard press obligations. Publicists were struggling to book promotional appearances. Some of the actors were even pushing back on international tour requirements, a major red flag for a tentpole release. And then there was the trailer panic. Executives floated a desperate idea: re-edit the promotional material to minimize certain characters entirely. One source said there was serious discussion about downplaying Sue Storm's arc in early teaser footage. Not because it didn't matter, but because Kirby wasn't playing along with the hype. But the biggest signal that Marvel had lost faith? The ending. Fantastic Four was initially positioned as the launchpad for a bold new era. Insiders confirmed that the original cut included a mid-credit scene teasing Doctor Doom, complete with Latveria imagery and a shadowed figure overlooking a ravaged skyline. It was supposed to be the spark that ignited a trilogy. But by June 2025, that scene was gone. No multiverse connection, no Kang contingency thread, no Phase 7 handoff, just an ending, static, unresolved. Test audiences reportedly found the final act emotionally ambiguous and weirdly quiet. In early reviews, some critics described the film as a soft farewell disguised as a fresh start. That's when the term tentpole isolation began appearing in Marvel's internal planning documents. It's a strategy Disney has used before, quietly shelving projects they no longer want to build around. Launch it, let it land, then move on. No sequels, no spin-offs, just one carefully managed release, followed by silence. Industry analysts now point to Fantastic Four as a clear sign that the old Marvel playbook is being shredded and not replaced. And with the cast already disengaging and studio heads scrambling to save face, the writing isn't just on the wall, it's in the credits. If this sounds familiar, it should. Because the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy went through the exact same thing, only louder. After Guardians Volume 3 wrapped, Fans were sure the team would live on through Disney Plus shows or solo spin-offs. They weren't just hopeful, they were promised. Director James Gunn hinted at possible futures for Rocket, Nebula, even Mantis, but when the lights went out, so did the communication. Zoe Saldana gave a heartfelt farewell to her fans but made no mention of Disney. Dave Bautista, never one to mince words, flat out said he was done playing Drax. And Chris Pratt, he found out through online speculation, not from Marvel, that Star-Lord wouldn't be returning. Their crime? Loyalty. When James Gunn was abruptly fired in 2018 over resurfaced tweets, the entire Guardians cast took a professional risk. They released a joint statement defending him. Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Bradley Cooper, Karen Gillan, they all stood by Gunn, not his tweets, but the man they trusted. That move might have saved Gunn's job, but it cost them something too. Because insiders say that after Gunn's rehiring, the cast's relationship with Disney cooled fast. Negotiations around future appearances got delayed. Meetings were postponed. Characters that once seemed integral to the MCU were quietly deprioritized. Bradley Cooper reportedly pitched a Rocket Raccoon solo film. Karen Gillan expressed excitement for a Nebula Disney Plus miniseries. Pom Clementief's Mantis was being embraced as a breakout star after the holiday special. But not a single one of those projects got greenlit. Instead, the pipeline dried up. Executives said the focus was shifting. Translation? The cast had gotten too vocal. Dave Bautista later admitted in interviews that he felt nauseated working for Disney after the Gunn debacle. He didn't just walk away. He slammed the door behind him. Meanwhile, Gunn moved on. He became co-head of DC Studios. And once that happened, Marvel quietly started wrapping things up. Internal memos reportedly instructed teams to halt development on any Guardian-related material unless Gunn returned, which, of course, he wouldn't. Even worse, Marvel didn't inform the cast. According to a Deadline report, the final decision to sunset the Guardians brand came in 2022, months before the final film was released. But the cast only learned about it through agents, trade papers, and silence. Chris Pratt reportedly confronted Marvel during a press day in London saying, "You're Disney, not a podcast, call me." But no call came. Because by then it was already over. Not with a dramatic announcement, but with indifference. No farewell from the studio, no thank you montage, just a press tour, a contract expiration, and a final group chat filled with memes and heartbreak. But here's the part that really gets under your skin. Marvel didn't just lose its cast's trust, they digitized it. According to a sound technician who worked on Fantastic Four, when Pedro Pascal couldn't return for reshoots, the studio didn't wait. They used AI-generated voice models built from previous recordings to fill in entire scenes. That means full dialogue, reconstructed artificially, without Pascal ever stepping back on set. Disney, when asked, denied it, called the claim misinformed. But insiders who witnessed the post-production process say otherwise. At least 3 scenes involving Reed Richards were finalized using AI voice stitching, paired with body doubles or pre-filmed footage. And here's the kicker. They may have done it completely within their legal rights. During the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike, one of the most fiercely debated points was the use of actor likeness and voice for AI. In the final agreement, studios like Marvel managed to include a clause allowing limited use of voice and likeness data for continuity purposes. But that phrase, it's murky. One entertainment lawyer who reviewed the clause under NDA said it opens the door to what they called non-consensual creative patchwork. That's a sanitized way of saying actors may be digitally recreated without active permission, so long as it's framed as technical continuity. And Marvel's not alone in considering this. Leaked audio from a 2024 Disney investor call revealed internal discussions about future-proofing characters like Rocket and Groot using AI-based voice synthesis. The idea was simple: cut costs, remove dependence on A-list talent. Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, replaceable. Executives called it strategic automation. The backlash to those discussions was immediate. Industry unions responded with sharp criticism. Fans erupted on Reddit and Twitter. And even SAG-AFTRA doubled down on enforcement clarity in their 2024 follow-up agreement. But the fact that Disney entertained the idea at all, that speaks volumes. And this isn't just about Fantastic Four. Sources say AI was also quietly tested on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. During a few late-stage edits, Marvel allegedly used synthetic tools to clean up audio inconsistencies, without informing the original actors. Karen Gillan, in an interview after the film's release, was asked about rumors of digital post-processing. Her response? A pause, then, "I can't really talk about that, but yeah, things change in post." This isn't some far-off sci-fi plot. It's happening now, in real time, and it's already affecting the future of the MCU. Why cast emotionally grounded actors, fight for scheduling, or maintain relationships when you can press a button and clone their performance? To Marvel, it's a solution. To the cast, it's betrayal. Because when you start replacing real voices with algorithms, you're not just editing scenes. You're erasing the people who made the characters human. And in doing that, Marvel might have solved one problem, but created something far worse. A future where actors exist in franchises long after they've walked away, whether they want to or not. The deeper you dig into this story, the more heartbreaking it becomes. Because for all the billion-dollar box office numbers, Marvel forgot the one thing that made it iconic. It's people. When production wrapped on Fantastic Four, there was no wrap party, no cast-wide email, no thank you montage, just silence. Pedro Pascal, after filming his final scene, reportedly removed his mic, handed it to a production assistant, and said, "That's the last time I do this for them." Then he walked off the set without a word. And that energy, it spread. Back channels between Marvel PR and the entertainment press turned icy. One major outlet was denied early access to press materials after hinting at cast dissatisfaction. Another journalist received a takedown request simply for including the line, "Marvel lost the cast emotionally." Marvel didn't dispute the facts. They just wanted them erased. But no cover-up could conceal what was happening, because the cast had already found their own outlet, each other. According to multiple insiders, Vanessa Kirby started an iMessage group chat between the four leads shortly after the first major script revision. What began as a space for scheduling turned into a digital lifeline. They vented frustrations, shared cutscenes, posted memes about missed cues and ruined character arcs. They cheered each other on when things got tough. They bonded over being sidelined. One message reportedly sent by Joseph Quinn after his final ADR session read, "They want the characters, not the people who made them feel real." Another from Eben Moss Backrack simply said, "We're not a franchise. We're a glitch." That group chat became their closure, because Marvel didn't give them any. There were no tributes, no goodbye interviews, no promises of a sequel. And the silence didn't just hurt. It confirmed everything they already suspected, that this wasn't about building a new MCU. It was about burning the old one down and replacing it with something cleaner, cheaper, and easier to control. A studio that once prided itself on loyalty, camaraderie, and behind-the-scenes family, now reduced to AI voice models, risk-averse edits, and contract loopholes. The Fantastic Four cast came in ready to make history. What they got was a lesson in what happens when creativity meets corporate indifference. And in the end, the most honest moment of the entire production wasn't in the film. It was in that quiet message thread. Four artists, stripped of their arcs, stripped of their say, finding comfort in the one thing Marvel couldn't script, each other. And just when you think Marvel couldn't fall any lower, it did. In the same year that Marvel was ghosting its stars and shelving its spin-offs, Disney CEO Bob Iger quietly doubled his salary to a staggering $31.6 million. That includes over $12 million in stock awards and bonuses, while Disney laid off over 7,000 employees, cut content budgets across the board, and pulled the plug on long-promised projects. During the height of the Hollywood writers and actors strikes, Iger appeared on CNBC and called creative demands unrealistic His tone wasn't just dismissive, it was cold. And it hit a nerve across the entire industry. Because while the cast of Fantastic Four and Guardians of the Galaxy were being written out, downsized, or digitally replaced, the man at the top was collecting checks and publicly mocking the people who built the studio's legacy. Multiple actors involved in both franchises are now under revised non-disparagement clauses, terms that prevent them from publicly criticizing Disney or Marvel for up to 5 years after their final appearance. Some of these clauses were slipped in during contract renewals under the guise of standard policy updates. But they don't need to speak, because the silence itself is the story. No thank you posts, no retrospective interviews, no celebratory reunions, just awkward red carpet moments and a rising body of off-record quotes that all paint the same picture. The magic is gone. What was once a collaborative universe built on trust, passion, and loyalty has been replaced by NDAs, AI, edits, and corporate gaslighting. And the saddest part, it didn't collapse with a bang. It unraveled quietly, strategically, and Marvel stars, they saw it coming. They couldn't stop it, but they can walk away. And in doing so, they might just be saving what's left of their integrity, something no contract clause can digitize or erase. Fantastic Four will still hit theaters. There'll be trailers, posters, interviews, at least the ones Marvel can control. There'll be merch, tie-ins, and red carpets. But behind all the noise, the people who were supposed to carry this next phase, they've already moved on. Chris Pratt is producing passion projects and reclaiming creative control. Karen Gillan is exploring directing. Zoe Saldana has returned to the Avatar universe. Dave Bautista is earning critical acclaim in dramatic roles. And James Gunn? He's building a new cinematic universe where creators and characters come first. Marvel will call this a transition, a reboot, a new phase. But fans aren't fooled. As one Reddit user said, the mouse doesn't remember your name once you leave the park. And that's the heartbreak. This was never just about contracts or continuity. It was about trust, about the human connection that gave this universe its magic. Marvel forgot that. And now, the actors who once carried its legacy, they're lighting the match and walking away before the new chapter ever begins. So what do you think? Is this truly the end of Marvel as we know it? Or can the magic ever come back? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because if this is just the tip of the iceberg, imagine what else is buried beneath the surface.